This is a P3B fitting room installation instruction video. Please note that all parts will be labeled to match the part numbers for assembly from the assembly instructions. So when you get the product from the consolidator, everything will be properly labeled to be able to help you with installing the ADA fitting room, the standard fitting room, the processing room, and depending on the condition of the store or the layout, some of them require lounge desk and lounge benches. Here you're looking at the processing area front bottom crossbars, the back bottom crossbars, the standard back top mirrors. The fitting room does take quite a bit of subcomponents and everything will be properly labeled. As you see here in the video, translucent panels, knotty pine panels. Here's just some more panels. The left and right partitioner panels, which are the white melamine. You will start by connecting the left post with the bottom cross tubing, the top cross tubing. We provide 3/8 bolts. Make sure that you guys are using a 7/16 drill bit to install the bolts when connecting the uprights, when you guys are connecting the tubing. Here's an example of a knotty pine panel that your team will have to slide in to the channel of the post. Make sure that the knotty pine aligns properly. Once you have secured the panel on the channel, then you put in the right post, slide it in to the bottom of the cross tube and the top cross tube. Then you connect the 3/8 bolt that we sent on a box that is clearly labeled hardware pack. Secure it with the impact drill, and then you install the left panel. It's a white melamine partitioner panel that we provide. Secure the 3/8 bolts. Here's another post that they are installing. Once you have installed a particular section, then you just stand it up, and the process is very simple. You just pretty much connect the left and right post, the middle post, the bottom, and everything's going to be properly labeled. Right now the crew is installing the back panels that go against the wall. Installing the top crossbar that has a channel, slides into the left post, 3/8 bolt being properly secure. Right post being installed now, connecting with the top and bottom crossbars. I want you to note that on this particular area, you have on this video 2 sections of panels that is being installed, but this was just for the purpose of the video. But when we send out the P3B fitting rooms, there's only going to be one whole panel in this section that you will have to install on the front of the ADA fitting room. Here's another back wall that is getting put on, another panel. Slides in on the bottom of the channel of the crossbar. They slide in the top channel to the left of the post, connect to the panel, screw in your bolts with an impact drill, right post sliding in. Here I want you to note that the feet of the levelers on the back of the wall, if there's a condition that won't allow the feet to go all the way back, the GC will have to potentially cut this to the feet in half so that it will work on that condition against the wall. So please do make a note of that. When connecting the bolts, don't over tighten them, leave them a little bit loose until you have everything connected, and then I would suggest that you secure the bolts and you tighten them up. You have to first make sure that everything's level and plumb. All the fittings are level and plumb. As you see here, they use a 2x4 to make sure that it was level. But it's very important when you guys are installing the fitting rooms, as you guys are going from one fitting room to another, that is being leveled properly and plumbed properly. And then when you are installing the 3/8 bolt, please make sure that you guys are not over tightening them. Just secure them enough to continue the process. And then at the end, I would suggest that you go back and secure those bolts. Right now the crew is installing the translucent panel. Those ship separately on a skid. but the translucent panel that GC will need to cut to size on the field for the whole length. And then you guys will have to remove the protective film. Here the crew did not remove the protective film. This was only done for video purposes, but when you guys are installing the translucent panel, please make sure that you guys are removing the film from the translucent panel before installing. As you see here, the crew is sliding in the translucent panel on the top and middle crossbar of the channel, and then they are connecting it to the right post, securing the post, and then they're bolting in both post and cross tube. Here's another section that they're doing, same process. It's a bunch of cross tubes, right and left post connecting, bolting it together. Here's the front panel. The inside of it is white melamine, the outside of it is knotty pine, and then we have levelers on the bottom, the feet levelers that you guys can adjust. One is once you guys have leveled and plumb everything to make sure that it is leveled correctly. The crew is installing the standard fitting room, and they're putting the white melamine partitioner that divides the fitting room with another fitting room. That one is always white melamine. At this point right now, the crew is installing the ADA fitting room door with the door jamb, making sure that it's once again level and plumb correctly. And this is very important. You have to make sure that the door is plumb and level correctly before you guys install it. Here they're just securing the door jambs. And once again, all this hardware gets sent to you guys in a white box, clearly labeled. And here they're just securing the door jamb with the screws. Please note that the ADA fitting room door opens towards the outer part of the fitting room. It doesn't go in. Here the crew is installing the door strike, making sure that it's nice and secure. Then they're bringing in the ADA bench. In the installation instructions, you have to make sure also that on the construction plans or floor plans, you guys are following how to install correctly the mirror, the LED mirror that we sent to you guys, to make sure that it's on the correct height when being installed against the wall. Here the guys are installing the bracket where the LED mirror is gonna hook into. But please make sure that you guys are following the enlargement plans that gives you the correct dimensions of where you guys need to properly install the brackets for when you guys connect the LED mirror to it. So make sure you guys are using the correct height. Same thing goes with the shelf that you guys will see here in a minute. Here's the crew installing the LED mirror. It has the cord in the back where you guys connect it to the outlet. Here he is making sure that it's straight and level. The co-hook shelf that we sent for the ADA and standard fitting rooms. Once again, follow the plans to make sure that you guys are installing it to the correct height. The metal piece comes first, gets installed, and then they install the little wood shelf last. They're just screwing it in, make sure it's properly secure. They have just completed the ADA fitting room. This is the standard fitting room that they're working on right now. The door handles, we provide the door handles. We also provide the door stoppers. Here's the upper view of a standard fitting room with the corner mirror already connected, installed properly. Here the crew is installing the strength bracket. The strength brackets are only used for the ADA fitting room for the front and the back top crossbars to make sure that it gives it an extra security of strength on the top crossbar. And this is what the crew just finished installing. As you see, that panel right there is the lounge panel. Please note here you have a white melamine on the outside, but on this was just for the video. You will be getting a knotty pine panel there. Here you have your ADA fitting room. It's the door number 1. Door number 2 is your standard fitting room. And then on your right side, you have the processing room. Please note the processing room does not get a door. It's an open entrance. Processing room do not get doors. Processing room get hardware, which is shelf and side hang bars. And those ship separately on a skid, and is also labeled properly as a processing room. On the right side, you have what would be considered at the store a filler panel. Sometimes those filler panels go on the right or left side of the end of a fitting room. Once they get, depending on the condition of the store, the layout of the store, sometimes you need a filler panel, sometimes you don't. Those normally come in at 24 inches. If it's custom, we make them at longer length, but the GC will have to cut the fitting room to size to be able to meet that condition. And here's your finished product: ADA fitting room, standard fitting room, and processing room.